Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good night to you all. Hope you've all had a lovely day. I have once again been very unproductive, as has been the case every single day before the day of stream since December. I basically have not been productive since December ended, which, I mean, hey, watching Avatar is productive, alright? I swear to God. It's productive for the soul. You just start crying. Like, oh god, productivity or enjoyability or anything. I mean, it is enjoyable, but whatever. So, the plan for today. So, full disclosure, I have not finished the article I was working on last week, which was the Grand Church. Haven't finished it. But I figured I was not going to do 2 streams on it because I've already done a stream about a church. I've done multiple streams about physical church. I've done one other stream about a physical church and like streams in general about religion. And I don't want to do 2 boring streams in a row. It's been a very boring January for me. So we're not doing that. Exactly. Watching Avatar is productive because I'm finally watching it. Though, again, I cannot stress enough. I have seen Avatar before, just only the first season of it, apparently, and only up to, like, Jet. No, I watched past Jet. I established which episode I stopped at, but I couldn't remember which one. Because I didn't watch it, I didn't, like, sit through and watch every episode, but I have seen, I want to say most of season 1 previously. Right? It's just that now I've seen all of season 1, and now I'm seeing season 2. Which means I missed out on Toph. Yes! I know. She's gonna need more time to grow on me. She's gonna need more time. She hasn't been a part of the group long enough for me yet. Because I'm only at like episode 10 of season 2. Because I went halfway and then stopped. Because season 2 is only 18 episodes, not 20, so I stopped at episode 9. Well, after episode 9, even. But she needs more time, because the whole point of her early dynamic is that she's disruptive as fuck. And so once she stops doing that, or once everyone else chills out, and they all sort of figure out the dynamic, then she'll be good. But she's, you know, disruptive. And yes, the blind bandit stuff does kick ass. That's not what I'm here for. The stream is not Avatar The Last Airbender streaming chat. Because I don't take notes. My Twitter rants are just me going, and just having emotions. And that's not what we're doing. I'm not just going to reread my tweets, from the Twitter thread. I'm not just going to do that. What we're actually going to do, I need to turn my music again, I forgot. There we go. What we're actually going to do is, so at some point, I'm pretty sure either last stream or one of the streams when I was actually writing about Ankyun, which was the hero for the Hero's Journey Challenge, I mentioned that, like, some people had been working on ancillary articles, so that's why I was working on the Grand Church, because it's a related article to Ankyun, so I was like, okay, I'll write about the church, it's pretty important to what they do. But there's a couple of other articles which are linked to and important to Ankyun, and some of them are very old. I know, ew, emotions, disgusting. Most of my emotions are neutral to positive. It's just anytime there's a romance episode, it just goes, things do not go well. One of the articles that is quite old, but arguably fairly important for the setting as a whole, is the article about elves. And, well, I'm gonna just say it's bad. Because it's not formatted in the same way that most of my articles are now. There is a different style, there is a change in writing slightly. Most of my writing's fairly consistent, but it's a little funky. And there's the fact that some of it is just not correct. Things have changed. And some of the things mentioned here do not make sense. Or it doesn't make sense to only include this information and not literally everything else. Because this article before us that we see here, and which looks like this, is originally from World Ember of 2018. So it is a full 2 years old, and it has not been substantially changed in that time. I must have changed it at some point. I have apparently made edits. At some point I apparently just wrote the word Australia. I don't remember doing that. I'm gonna be honest. This is the first time I've ever noticed that apparently I just said they were stranded in Australia. So it's probably a good thing that I'm here now. Because, what? That's a... Holy shit. That is a... Ooh, boy. Okay. Well, aside from typoing Abravost as Australia, for some reason, this article is not formatted to incorporate the entire second continent, because said continent did not exist until, like, September of 2019. So, you know, a full, like, 7 months later. 9 months. Listen, fucking Octavian, piece of shit. Can't do math. Ages later is the point. So there have not been substantial edits in 2 years, and it desperately needs them. Some of it is fine. So for instance, like, you know, the section about reproduction and the section about gender is mostly okay. I would obviously alter, like, this part here where I reference a specific country, because there are now like 60 countries, so this doesn't make sense to name just the one. I mean, yeah, there's only like 4 that are relevant here, but not the point. The interspecies section would probably be completely rewritten to, you know, address the fact that there are like 7 different elf types, and there are a lot of humans. Things are a bit complicated, and it varies depending on a lot of things. You know, and then this is a bit about types, which I included a map for. The drawings are fine, but they only incorporate like 4 of the 7, so oops. And so I'm probably just gonna remove that. And then it mentions them as types, which is weird because like, yes, there is some physical differences between each, like, some of the groups, but that's just how, like, things happen. Genetic reinforcement happens in a culture. It's fine. And also some of them are geographically set distinct. It's like, okay, whatever, but calling them types is weird. It's an ethnicity thing. Like a culture, it's not like you got like the Drow and then the High Elves, and these are distinct beings. You know? Like you can look like this and be one of these. Well, that's a bad example, because the Calico Celti are kind of off in their own heads a bit. But like you can look like that. You can be a Sunke looking elf, so like yellow and pink, and yet you can be a Lil Pumpumti, which is a Skarhan elf, because the physical appearance and culture are not the same thing. And I hadn't quite figured that out when I wrote this article 2 years ago. Exactly, ethnicity is not subspecies, and like they are just like, they're people, you know? So calling them types is a bit weird. Now, I did use ethnicity articles for each of the types, so it's organizationally correct, but it's just the terminology is a bit weird. So I'm going to rework that as well. Pretty much the whole article needs to be reworked, because there's this whole history section which is basically nonsense now. It's correct, but it doesn't make sense to be here. So that shall be changed. Things will be fixed. And so, yeah, exactly right. Physical appearance on comes from genetic trends from living in certain climates. Exactly. And so, and then, you know, because you live in that climate, you know, culture, and they sort of become similar, but not quite. And so, like, there are reasons. And then also, again, like, magic hand wave, things can get funky, which is fun. But it's just the main thing that calling them types is weird. So, while I would like to write about the different groups of elf in their very broad categorizations of, like, elves from this area, elves from this area, they will not be called types, it'll just be, like, called groups. Or I'll just call them ethnicities. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Because you need more of that, the melanin to, like, it reflects the sun better, so you don't absorb as much of the UV and get super burned and hyper cancered. Which is great. It's fine. I mean, the way that I've drawn these 4 groups of elves, given where they live, probably doesn't make a huge amount of sense, but it's fantasy, I can have a little bit of fun. So the Lilipumpamti are predominantly swampy, but it's not necessarily like... It's fairly tropical-ish swamp, so it's fine. I don't know what the deal is for either of these 2 groups where the geographic area would make them look pink and yellow, but it's fine. It's fine. And then there's the entire other groups of elves, which I don't know what they look like. Well, I know that one of them is purple, but that doesn't really mean anything. Because again, oh, wrong article. Wrong side. So what I'm going to do, because I wanted to show the article before I delete it, and I'm not going to delete it obviously, but like before I clean it, I have copied out the content already, so that I have it. Too much melanin depends vitamin D desorption. Yeah. It depends what caused the coloration, but I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. I just don't know. That's not something I know, and to an extent, is not something that that like bothers me. Because, like, you know, like, it's not that, like, fantasy cannot be very rigorously done and world built, and there is value in that. Like, you can go full Tolkien if you want. Going full Tolkien is fun. But these are the areas in which going full Tolkien does not really bother me. It doesn't, the color does not matter as much. Like, there are broad trends, and that is it. I'm just like, okay, so the darker skin is generally in the equator area, and the lighter skin is everywhere else. And we can put the colors wherever we want. And that's what I've done. Mostly. Mostly. Actually, no, that is fairly accurate, I think. Except for, like, a couple of characters that are really pale when they probably shouldn't be. But that's royalty, baby. You know, white people. It's fine. Pink might indicate higher metabolism, could be cooked by diet. Yeah, probably. It's probably a diet thing. Anyway, now I can yeet the article. And I'm gonna make it, I made a draft already. Good. And so now the article has been cleansed. Ooh, is now empty. There's still 100 words in it. How? How are there 100 words in this? Jesus. Okay. I probably shouldn't even have that. Oop. Hello? Is it... Hello? There we go. God. It didn't want to do that, did it? That is a cleaned article, mostly. It is missing... Because I feel like first step for rewriting it is to just go in here and find all of the things that matter. So there's ethnicities, and I do not... Fortonen, Edzim, and I've made Shanhol, right? Oh boy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do I actually not have an article for them? You're joking. What? Apparently I didn't make an article for the type of elf that, or the group of elf that live in a specific location. That is weird. Seriously? Because I do 2 languages, but like, Did I not make an ethnicity article for that? Wow. Because that's the mountain people. Those are the human southeasterners. Those are the lake people who are not all elves. It's fine. These are the northwesterners. These are the fiery boys. Swamp boy. Lake people. Easton. Dragontown. Eh. That's not a strict geographical thing, but it's shenanigans. That was a Summer Camp 2020 article. Scarhans, that's just Western people. Sunkei is, I think, Northern? North. Yeah, they're Northerners. Okay. Tell that those are Northerners. Those are weirdos. Lake people. Southerners. Angry people. Northerners again. And Easterners. Do I... Okay. Genuinely don't have one for them. That is... That's just weird. It was gonna come from genetic development, was living in low O2 environments. Uh-huh. Well, shit. That doesn't make sense. Not like scientifically that probably makes sense, I wouldn't know. But the person who is purple, not so much. Cause, like, there's plenty of oxygen in the cold areas. There's no reason that they would be like that. Not that... No, they... I actually don't know what environment they came from originally, but it probably wasn't like a cave or anything. They probably had... they probably had plenty of oxygen. It'd be kind of weird if they didn't. Oops. So I'm pretty sure this is the Xian Hall. Yeah. That's the whole point. God damn it. That's just weird. I can't believe I did not actually make an article for the Xian Hall people. It's just strange. I'm just gonna break the link. Oh, look at it. Oh god. There's so many of them. Mountaintops? Yeah. A couple of them are from mountaintops. So that could work. A few of them it makes sense for them to be purple. Some of them not so much, but that's it passes down. You come from the mountains, you spread out, but you kind of stay a little bit purple the whole time. Then yellow could be eliminate excess iron in an overly saturated diet. Sure. Sure. They come from oversaturated O2 environment, so normal. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It all makes sense, just a matter of, again, my world building is not very scientifically rigorous, so I've mostly just picked things if they look cool. So I can work with the mountain angle a little bit, because there's at least one group who are definitely mountainous, and they are almost certainly purple. In some capacity. The rest of their fellows probably shouldn't be purple, but you don't lose the purple after a single generation, or 12. It's fine. you keep breeding it in, it's okay. There are blue/purple apples called black diamonds in Tibet. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty neat. These are all cool things. These are just cool things to have. But that's not what we're doing. We're not being cool. Actually, I am gonna look those up. I'm gonna look up these black diamond apples. Oh, that is cool. Oh, those are awesome. Holy shit. God damn. Damn. Those are cool looking apples. Of course, it'll be from an excess of anthocyanins. Yes. I feel like I've read that term in some context, but not entirely clear which one. This is what happens when all your science knowledge is just reading Wikipedia and hoping to God that it sticks. It never does. It does not stick in there. I did not do biology. I didn't even do well in physics. We've established I'm not good at science or math. Purple cauliflower. Okay. Interesting. Because it is just like blue though, right? Yeah. I think apples are that way because something UV. Probably. Maybe. But I guess that's part of the whole thing about being higher up in in the atmosphere. Because in addition to having less oxygen, the UV, like protection from UV is also less because the air is thinner, so more of it gets through to you. So it's a combination of possibly both factors of the low O2 and the like higher UV overall kind of thing. Blues, purples, and bright reds. Ah, okay. Gotcha. That's funky. Oof. That is funky. Hold on, I need to refresh that. There we go. Now I don't have to look so far. I can actually just go right there. Okay, awesome. Alright, so there's the quote as ever, which I might just reuse the old quote, but we'll see what happens. Then there's intro, so elves and such. Then there'll be groups. Mention broad groups of elves, such as Shanho, and so on. Mostly a cultural thing rather than about physicality. Picture would be nice though. These are the notes that we make. So we had intro, and then we had types, which is going to be now groups. The physical section, which I didn't go into a huge amount of detail in because I don't want to. This will probably just get cut in as is with some alterations. So reproduction and such. Then, because I think I vaguely misinterpreted what that meant. So that might not even be a section. That might just be a one-off sentence of, yeah, half elves, you know? They're cool. And then there's the history section, which is way too detailed and way too specific. So history, Noha, so on, so forth. That's basically it. Those like the 4 sections. I'd possibly put this up here. Carotenoids cause yellow, by the way. Okay. Alright. Possibly I might have to look those up in more detail just so that I can put a little bit more into why elf look like elf. Even if it's not a huge concern. What are you? I need to not have like 50 notes everywhere. I don't think I need that one anymore. God, you're trying to find a piece of paper to write a note on, but who knows? It's a mystery to me. Choose the notepad out my eyeballs. So it is anthocyanins, purples, and carotenoids, yellows. Research. Perhaps elves have a tendency of retaining coloration from foods, like their skin is more naturally transparentish. Possibly? Potentially. I'm honestly not sure. It's kind of all just like Whichever works. I'm feeling like I should almost leave this up as like a bounce slide, but I also really don't want to. I'll close that. Ah, eyeballs. Maybe it could take years to change the color when they change their diet. Possibly? I never really I don't think there's any point where a character has changed color. Like an elf character in this setting has changed color like that. Because that would then be possible. You know, because like you grow up and you eat a lot of carrots and you're very like orangey colored, and then, you know, in time you're like 70, suddenly you're blue because you started eating blueberries instead. That has not happened. It would be fun. It would be kind of fun, but the issue is that I'm very boring as a world builder. And so by the time anyone mentions anything fun to me, it is already way too late. It's just way too late to put that in, because now it doesn't make sense. Nothing which has been built around it makes it that things too whimsical. This is boring serious hour, but in the serious way where it takes itself seriously and everything else is silly. I do not think highly of my own world building. I'm just here for fun. That's kind of how this works. This is just my own nonsense, where none of it makes sense, and that's what's enjoyable. Maybe I don't know. Or changes in patching it with calico elves. Well, there have been elves with different shades of skin tone, but I think I don't remember what I intended with that specific character. I'm pretty sure she'd been injured, and that was why she had patches of white, or that was supposed to be vitiligo. I honestly do not remember. I just wanted it to look cool. So she had patches of lighter skin. I'm not gonna be able to find it that way, am I? I'm not gonna be able to find it the easy way, am I? Oh god. I know exactly what article it is, but I have to go the long way, which is like this way. I don't remember what her idea was. I think that was an injury. I think her patterning was an injury that she'd sustained at some point. Because it kind of looked... I mean, it obviously doesn't look that much like an injury because cartoon and also... But I think the idea was she had, like, sustained an injury at some point. So that's why she has a huge light patch on her face and also on her ear. Most of them are just like, we are this color. And that's just how skin color be. You know, you tan a little bit and you pale out, but that's about it, you know? The equivalent of tanning, obviously. Because if you're, like, yellow, you just go, like, orange. Or something. It could be culturally frowned upon or encouraged, thus affecting whether they encourage or discourage travel. Yes? Yeah? Maybe? I don't know. I feel like these are all things that if I'd wanted to... Well, not necessarily if I'd wanted, if I'd thought about when I'd made the setting would be features already, but it's probably too late, because I'm not here to create elves, I'm here to rewrite the elves to be consistent with all the updates that I've made. This does require a complete rewrite of the article, because it's really old, but the core information was still correct. Mostly. Like, everything that was mentioned was fine. Everything was fine, you know, like, it was all correct, it was just silly. Yeah, these are interesting takes on elves, but not my elves. Yeah, exactly, right? My elves are literally just people. My elves are extremely boring. They are just people with long ears who live slightly longer, and they look different. Like, that's it. They're just people. They're like Star Trek elves. Is the best equivalent, like, because, like, you know, like in Star Trek where pretty much every alien species is just humans, but... You know, so, like, Klingons are humans, but, like, red. Well, a Klingon's red? They're Klingons, like, Klingons are humans, but they're, like, they got, like, bumps and shit. And, like, Vulcans are humans, but they have long ears. That's just what this is. These are just humans, but long ears and slightly taller. Brown with ridges. Damn it. They have red a lot, right? like as a costuming. Red's like their color, right? Oh shit, I haven't watched Star Trek. Day has been talking about Star Trek to me for like 6 months and I have absorbed nothing. Because I'm not going to watch it. So I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Red. It'll be really. Oh god damn it. I shouldn't have mentioned Star Trek. I've made a mistake. we're not having elven shoes here. Red is security, wolf is security. Okay. Right. Okay. Right, because it's the uniform. Well, no, like, yeah, that's probably why I got confused, because the prominent Star Trek Klingon is a red shirt, therefore red. I assumed that red was a prominent color in the culture, but I'm confusing that possibly for something else. Because I'm not watching Star Trek Day. I'm not doing it. You will not be able to convince me to do that. Certainly not the original. Next Generation, maybe. Maybe. Very, very, very narrow maybe. That's about it, though. Maybe Deep Space Nine? I don't know. That's it, okay? Like, those are the two, like, sections of the show that you can maybe convince me to see, which is Deep Space Nine or Next Generation. Nothing else interests me there. None of it. I'm just like, I have no opinions. All my opinions are... Okay, so they do have a little bit of a reddish-orange. Okay. You're Deep Space Nine. I know. Next Gen is awkward to start. Yeah, well, I mean, I know the premise. I know most of the characters. I can just skip forward if I needed to, but I'm not gonna. Like, I'm sure they're all good shows. I'm just extremely boring, and I don't like watching TV. The fact I'm watching Avatar is an achievement in and of itself, and the only reason I'm able to do that is because I can pause constantly and do something else for 20 minutes and then come back. If I couldn't pause... Oh, Jesus. If I could not pause that, we would be not in season 2. Yes, Avatar The Last Airbender. I have seen the movie, though. Like, as in, like, the James Cameron film. I've seen that film. It's okay. I have not seen That Which Shall Not Be Named. But I'm up to episode 10 of season 2 right now. So I think, like, I'll probably be finished by the end of, like, next week. Depending on how shit goes. I'll probably be done. And I'll be like, neat, that was cool. And then I'll move on with my life. And it won't have mattered. Well, it's good, but, like... I'm supposed to end making these phones by standing up. Wow. Incredible. Oh my god. God damn. Oh. Conceal. James Cameron's Avatar. What an excellent exercise in worldbuilding for the purpose of making an okay film. It is an okay film. It is fine. You know, it's fine. I have it on like a USB somewhere, and I have no earthly clue how I acquired it. Like, I don't even know if I was the one who did the illegal thing there. I'm just like, was I the one who did this? I don't own it, though. So where did I get it? I don't know. I think my English teacher had it. No, that was Hugo. I don't even know. That shit's just like, where'd it come from? I just have it. Somewhere. In a hard drive. And I'm like, okay. Why do I have James Cameron's Avatar? I don't know. But you know, it's fine. It's okay. I think I watched it in like a ceramics class for some reason because my teacher was bored. No, it was just art. It was just regular art. Yeah, fully developed everything. Maybe if you'd actually written something new instead of falling into the same trope. Yeah. Yeah. Could have been interesting. Oh well. Yeah. Well, yeah, with the sci-fi summons that they have, the unobtainium, or whatever it's called, the fancy shit, it's fine. Sure. Like, I haven't watched it in years. I just remember it being like, oh, that was neat, and then I moved on with my life. As did most people. Which is why when he's like, I'm gonna make 7 more, everyone's like, really? Okay, sure. If they're good. Like, if I'm sitting down and suddenly Avatar 2 is in front of me, it's like, okay, I guess I'll watch it. We'll see what happens if Jake Sully makes a reappearance. And the Tiri and all that. Who knows? Nah. Or a bunch of good films of the same PS with a unique setting. Yeah. Yeah. Because you just, if it works, you just do it again, but make a little tweak. There's no point saying so much. Yeah, but you need to actually want to do something with it. Like, I don't know to what end the world building serves. Which is not a great thing to be saying when I am world building to no end. To no end but my own. There's no goal here. It's just, I'm world building. World building is fun. I feel like that's what happened, is that someone in the writer's room just went off and had a world building adventure and then came back. James Cameron's like, this is the film that I'm making. Can you make it make sense? And they're like, I mean, okay, sure. I can slot that in. I guess. You know, you make it work. The world's most expensive fan wiki. Exactly. Precisely. Those are one of 3 or 4. 3 or 4. Sounds a weird sound. You hired and paid for it all. Oh my god, you're like, hey, make this amazing world, and I will do nothing with it because I already have a story in mind. I've given you these criteria. Make a world. And they're like, okay, we've made a world. Here you go, Mr. Cameron. And he's like, okay, now this is what's happening with it. And they're like, alright. Okay, sure. And then all anyone remembers from that movie is like flying raptor thing and the weird thing with the hair tails under the tree. And that is about it. Those are like the standout sequences, or like the standout bits of that film, is just weird hair tail thing, and there's a flying sequence on the raptors. Which was very important to the culture of the Na'vi, but no one cares. Because it was an exciting action sequence. That's all we got from it, was just, ooh, raptor. Cool. Pterodactyl ass motherfucker. This is great. And then, like, I don't know. I mean, I remember how it, like, the end of the thing where he's dying of, like, oxygen deprivation and she saved his life and then he becomes a thing. And I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? Whatever. Alright. Fuck. Alright. Yeah. You know, we've already made the leap of accepting brain transplant, but like temporary shit, so like whatever, right? Go for it. Whatever, this is how the movie ends, this is fine. This makes enough sense that I'm willing to let it go. Whatever. God. That's it, those are the only bits I remember of the movie. He's in a wheelchair, I remember that. But I'm like, okay. Sure. Like, that's happened in other media. In fact, that is not even the only thing I've seen where a protagonist with a wheelchair is put into a body where they do not need a wheelchair. There is at least 2 of those, and there's probably 70 more. And I'm like, oh god, I don't know if I like the implications of this from a disability perspective, but okay. Just keep doing it. Just do it. Okay, so I said 4 sapient races, so we're gonna keep that. The 4 sapient races of the Tiamara. The whole planet was capable of hive mind, but it took Grace to get the planet to fight. I don't even remember who the hell Grace is. I don't even remember this. Oh god. Like at least with the hive mind, I'm like, okay, I think I kind of remember that because the tree was like connected to everything. That was part of the weird tails banging thing. That was all connected. So I remember that. I don't remember who Grace is. I honestly have... I don't remember any of the characters. I remember Jake Sully, whose name is Sully, but she says Sully, so I remember Sully. And that there's Natiri. And that there's a gruff instructor dude who is dead. Who dies, because he gets, like, his ass kicked by the, you know, the tree-loving natives. Or something? I don't remember any of the characters from that movie. He had a dead brother, I remember that. That's why there was a tall body available. Because it was his brother's Na'vi body. And I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. Magical fix... Yeah, exactly. Magical fix for disability, because it needs to be fixed. Gross. There's underwater Sigourney Weaver? Really? Like in the sequels? Neat. That'll be cool. Okay, braid banging, whatever. They move in ways that that hair would not move. I'm pretty sure that's why I thought they were tails. Oh, she was the lead scientist. So she had a school for the Na'vi, which is why the woman could speak English. Okay. So it was time which made Grace a persona non grata with the Na'vi. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think very, very loosely I remember there being other people on the human side who exist. So I was like, okay. Got it. I almost. And like, part of that is like part of the myth of the film just being completely unmemorable, but it's also that I haven't seen the film in like 10 years. I've seen the final scene within the last year or two because I had it on my hard drive and I was checking it out. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember the scene where you know, he dies and gets reborn as a blue man. So I do remember this. I've got it. Oh yeah, she clocked the most time acting underwater, breaking the record. There was a record for acting underwater? Why? Why? Well, okay. Bewildering stuff. Okay, so they look like braids, they have nerves in them or something, and they had tails as well. Okay, limbs, appendages. Yeah, it probably would have been a more interesting story. At least more novel than, you know, what they had. And good morning, Bob. Good morning. I hope your coffee is brewing and nearly ready. We've just been talking about Avatar, the, not the Airbender one. This happens. It's just chatting time. I'm trying to figure out, they're predating. Okay. And the my room. Can you comma properly, please? There we go. But there was a comma, and then I removed it for an M. At the end of done blah blah limbs, appendages. I've told you I didn't do biology. I didn't even do good in normal science. I haven't done a science class. In like 7 years. 7? 7. No, okay. Well, no, I'm gonna say 7 on that one. For biology anyway. Because health was not a science class. And physics is not a biology thing. So I haven't done biology in 7 years, and I wasn't good at it anyway. Same with chemistry. Wasn't good at it. And how the hell do the islands float? Because they look cool. They float because they're cool. The islands float because they're made of unobtainium, which has very, very strong / weird magnetic properties. And the planet of Pandora has strong magnetic fields. Sure, I will accept that. That's fine. I'm willing to accept it. That's why they hid in the mountains after defecting from the humans. Because they couldn't get... Oh, right, because you can't, like, radar check them because the magnets would just be like, nah, bitch. Yeah, it messes with the sensor instruments. Yes, we've got it. I managed to see ahead. Figured it out. For once, I can do that leap. I used the wrong words, but it's fine. I knew where I was going. Upon us the biomes of the islands. Hell yeah. It's actually one of the bits of worldbuilding that made it in. One of like 4. One of the like 4 bits of worldbuilding. Those being language, aesthetic, raptor racing, and magnets. Honorable 5th goes to the tree, I think. There's like 5 bits there. Because I remember the raptor racing being important for something. I remember that having a purpose. Like, it was like a coming-of-age ritual or something where they're like, you know, riding a raptor means something. And he had the biggest raptor, so he was cool. And they're like, okay, you're kind of like one of us, kind of. We're willing to accept you a little bit until you do something stupid in something nonsensical or evil and reprehensible to us in the 2nd act. And then we'll hate you again. As per usual. As tends to occur. Every bit of machinery, animal, plant all has names. Why? God, alright. I thought I was world-build disease. I am not. That's not how that works. Unobtainium was the metal used to make the vehicle in the deep. I haven't seen the deep either. It's probably not the same unobtainium with the same properties, just like, you know, it'd be like that. Yeah, it was an old joke name for sci-fi made-up stuff. Because, you know, it's unobtainium. It's fancy metallium. Or you just call it orichalcum, or orichalcum, or however you want to pronounce that word. And you just go, here's the old fantasy metal. I have given it a purpose. Like, hey, I've decided that instead of orichalcum being like red gold, it is now blue and has magical powers. And this is why Atlantis survived. Atlantis is a good movie. I promise. I promise the first Atlantis is a good movie. It is a little bit on the nose that Cameron used it. They should have changed the names. They should have. Your favorite is not Realium? Is it not Realium? They have you put the slightly different twang on it. Not Realium. It was probably not Realium though. Which is great. I love that. That's awesome. Going after the dragons. This is the Avatar chat rather than the Avatar chat. Well, I don't have anything to say about the other. I have nothing to say about either Avatar, really. I just thought we would do something different. Because last time we spoke about Avatar, we're going to talk about the other Avatar now. We're going to get the full diversity of avatars. Next time, we'll talk about the Shyamalan movie. We're not doing that. I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not doing it. I don't even know where to get it. I'm not saying it. I won't do it. And then the Fire Nation attack. Exactly, right? It's fine. And predating the arrival of the Merfolk. Merfolk. Not Trialium. Yes. Wait to see the Fire Nation attack Pandora. Things would go very badly immediately. Just fire everywhere. Coffee is good. Nice. Good coffee. The coffee is good. That is not my water bottle. That is my phone. God damn it. What the Spaced out, grabbed my phone. That's not what the water is. And I just drink my mobile phone. Oop, a hydrate. Here we go. Second time. Boom. Whew. Water. Water is good. The screenplay half the audience will never get it. If you pronounce it differently, they will not get it. And that's the good stuff. Fire everywhere, but also the Na'vi are 2 meters tall. Has that stopped any of them? I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of Fire Nation people who are 2 meters tall. I'm pretty sure Aang fought one for like a minute in the season finale of season 2. Or season 1 even. He's got a lot of tall men. 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 He's got a lot of There are a lot of tall people. Kyoshi's like 2.5 meters tall. This is normal. This just happens. There are tall people. They're good. And there is not a planet, it's a moon. Oh god, it's a moon. That means so much different. It's got people on it. It's a planet. It's fine. Raiders! Oh, you're early. Wasn't prepared. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, Siobhan. Stay true, everybody. You have entered the Avatar realm, where we're just talking about nonsense. No, Kyoshi is still 2 meters tall, though. They're tall compared to each other sometimes. Sometimes. Is she not? She feels like she's 2 meters tall. God damn it. She feels it. Stay true and waffles. Yes, and the sleep deprivation zone. That too. Is also that. That said, I've only been awake for like 11 hours. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, and a headache today? Oh, that sucks, Siobhan. Ugh, headaches are gross. She is 2 meters tall. Yes. She's super tall, dude. She is very tall. All the avatars in their old age are like 2 meters tall. It's awesome. Aang ends up being like 2 meters tall. It's great. That just happens. Like, the first avatar was like 2.5 meters and they just kept it. It's great. And then I've made more than 2. Yeah, they're probably closer to like 3.5 to 4. Okay, 3 meters. Okay, yeah. Oh, Siobhan got 2 hours sleep. Ugh. Gross. That sucks. I'm up for 16 hours. 16 hours is doable. I think I've done that a couple times. In general, I'm just trying to do the math of when I, like, 1 until 4, it's like 15. I generally do 15 hours of being awake per day. Depending. If I wake up earlier, then who knows. Okay, so Airbender Atla avatars are like 2 meters tall. James Cameron avatars are about 3 meters tall. These are the metrics we're working with. You haven't seen Navi height and Imperial. Okay, yeah, conversions are hard. Conversions are hard. They get math. No one likes math. Like, how tall are these people? They're actually 2.5. I forgot that I made the elves, like, actually quite tall. Wow, they are way taller than I thought they were. Oops. That's the human butt element of the elves in T.U. Amara. They are humans, but generally taller and with pointy ears. That's it. But that's just it. That's all they have. They're sometimes a bit colorful. Like, they've got, like, purpley skin, as opposed to just being, like, various shades of beige. That is the wrong page to be refreshing. What am I doing? Ah, showcase. Yes! Let us showcase. Let us do a showcase. Yeah, 3.3 feet to a meter, roughly. This is math that I can do. Mostly. I divide by 3 and round up. That is not what I do. I almost understand. I'm like, okay, I'm like 5'4". It's fine. Okay, so this is Dazzly Cat's article Kipes, who is a person. Ah, and this is your hero entry. Yes. Hero article as told by the hero. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting. Alright, so, good times. Meats in the Thrundank were good and plentiful. Getting meats was tricksy, as paying too much attention to the hunts could get a nistling eaten. Troving was hard in the Thrundark, but we made do by raiding the boat peoples and trading loot to the fur peoples for coins to jingle in pouches. Our tribe's trove was shamefully small, but it was ours. Boat peoples and fur peoples made jingles with words, and lots of them. It looked easier than raiding, so I watched them and learned. Their howlings were hard to get right, and every time I howled for the jingles, they threw plant foods instead. Yuck. So I tried their noisemakers. I could bang the hide bowls all day, but people tossed rocks. Ouch. The string boxes were troubling. Strings snagged on my claws, broke with a loud snap to slap for my eyes, and tangled my feet until I fell to the dirt. Not fun. Then I tried the bone whistle. People tossed jingles. Oh, it was fun to make jingles. Made even more jingles by telling moo-doo tales between the bone whistlings. Okay. Let's back up over. Retrieving is the hoarding of coins and valuables. Boat peoples, humans. Fur peoples, the cat people. Hide bowls, drums, string boxes, lutes. Bone whistle, fipple flute. Moo-doo. Nistling cleric to Mordoon. Okay. Got it. I follow. So, trouble times. Boss Akaros agreed to a fancy raid with the boat peoples called The Hand for lots of jingles that made our trove proper looking. After the fancy raid, we feasted and partied for 3 nights and 2 days. As we rested from the great party, Boss Akaros sent me to the fur peoples with jingles to get a hooch maker. Finally, we would have nistling hooch. I haggled my best and got a fine hooch maker with plenty of jingles left in the boss pouch. I flew back to the lair with the joys. So hooch being whiskey. Okay, I kind of gathered, but I had to check. It was daylight by then and I had to wear my eye scales. They let me see many people's boats poling away from the lair. Some were clawed up, others lay on the bottoms pierced with nistling boats. All's had blood. Oh noes! I dove down into the lair, half folding my wings so I could glide fast through the out tunnel and land in the homey cave. Dead were everywhere. Everywhere? No, it is everywhere. But they're usually, that's usually one word. Most were nistling. Some were boat peoples. By a wall I saw dead hatchlings and my heart cried. I howled to Mordoon. From the boss tunnel came answering howls. Nistlings still lived. Yay! Joys filled me and I ran down the tunnel. There in the boss cave was Boss Akaros missing an arm. Barker Devdas was struggling to move the last big stone holding down the pretty hide covering the secret trove cave. As he moved the last stone, the hide moved aside. Moo-doo Edals stepped out. Ooh, and a second showcase. Yes! A Barker is a commander under the boss. Okay. So Moo-doo Edals. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Alright, come, she barked back into the trove cave. Hatchling scurried out. Many joys. Kippes, Boss Akaros called to me. I went to him and put down the hooch maker and boss pouch of jingles. Yes, boss? We goes to the hidey lair, Boss Akaros said. Not's you. What? I asked. Boss Akaros pointed to the boss pouch with his only arm. Takes it. Fills with jingles. Stops the hand. They crosses us. Yes, boss. I promised, though my heart trembled. The hand had magics. I took the boss pouch, filled it from the trove, and left to save my tribe. And that is a memory that will never die for Kippes. Trixie times. At the end of the fancy raid, I met with the sneaky, shiny haggler, Forks. I bought knowledge from him, but not for jingles. For this, he haggled favors. What favors we haggled are hush-hush, no asking. I did haggles for a magic shiny that could move big stuffs with the boss jingles. The hand magic makers had left for now. Only Forks knew why, so I had plans. Shh. I feel like I'm losing a few brain cells going a little bit. It is doing my head in a little. I'm working with it though. I can finish it. Just it keeps throwing me off every time, even though I know it's deliberate. That is a deliberate choice, and it's a good choice. Because it character voice, but I hate having to do it. With haggled knowledge, I began to hunt the hand. First I scumfrogooed one hand. What does that mean? Okay, you tranquilized one hand, okay. I scumfrogooed one hand and put him in the bed of fancy-pantsed boat people's wife, also scrumfrogooed. Oh, the yells and fights joined my heart. What? What? 2 nights later, I broke all the 4 bottles in the brandy house where the hand gathered for hush-hush haggling. Ha! More yells and fights. The next nights, I began to hunt the hand, taking them when each was alone. With each hunt, I bagged their livers in salts. I bagged 5 livers of the hand before I was hunted by the Blackstone boat peoples who wanted all the hand hunting for themselves. Okay. Yeah, listening comes across as propaganda. It sure does, and it makes it really hard to read. Not like comprehension, as in speaking aloud, because I do not read before I speak. I'm just going, and it's really hard to do that. Good morning, Lithan! We're currently going through Dazzly Cat's Hero Challenge article. And then next we will be going through Chrysalia's. We will have a lot of fun. Home times. I returned to the throne deck into the Heidi lair. There I gave the livers to Boss Akaros. We had a great party where the salted livers were roasted and eaten. A piece for each nestling from hatchling to boss. With bone whistling, I told the tale of my tricksing and hunting the hand. Boss Akaros claimed me Eater of the Hand. Mudu Edals claimed me Fang of Mordoon. After the resting from great party time, Boss Akaros declared Heidi lair stay nestling size. No room for big peoples. Still, hagglings had to be done, so Boss Akaros decided to make roomy huts for haggling 1 big mount over from Heidi lair. 1 for boat peoples and 1 for fur peoples. Now times. Fangor Mordoon and Eater of the Hand sat in my heart. Forks haggled that the hand was in more places than Blackstone. My hunt was not yet done. I packed more scumfrogoo and snake snapper with my bone whistle. With farewells to my tribe, I left the Thrundank to continue my hunt. That is a deadly poison. Okay. And then we've got a picture of the Thrundank. Home in the swamp, where the meats will eat you before you eats meats. No snoozing. Oh, I love that one. That one's cute. That's Kipes. Kites with a P and lots of S. Oh, so it's Kipes. Oops. Maybe I should have read that first. It's Kipes, not Kipes. It's not kite. It's not kits, it's kites. So Kipes. Kipes? Oh no, I can't read. I cannot read. And the hand are boat peoples in the boat peoples place called Blackstone. Okay. Good to raid, bad to visit unless you want your tail nailed to a wall. And that's Sneaky Shiny's Haggler Forks. Keeps claws tucked in harness and jaws clamped shut until you untrixie his words. Most trixiest trickster with words ever. That was a tongue twister and a half because I can't keep making S sounds. But it was really good. I do love it. I love that it's just like, you know, you just killed like 5 dudes and you are a hero. You are a hero to your people. You know, it's you know, you're a hero. That's great. I love that. Kipes. Does that mean I'm pronouncing all of them wrong? I don't even know how else I would pronounce Akaros. Oh no. I can't go back. I can't deal with Morestus. I can't give it a second shot. The challenge of so many difficult sounds. Ah yes, and that's Bob's article, which I have read previously, so I will not be showing that off. So we will next, so we've read Dazzly Cat's article, and now we're going to open Chrysalia's. Oops. I can find it, it's all good. It's the Ashenborn, not Ashenborn in terms of the URL. So I will actually put that. That's the actual link we're reading from. Not the one up previously. So that is where we're going. We are now in the Ashenborn. And this is Crystalia's article, also for the Hero Challenge, because of course it is, we're all hero challenging. We're all doing heroics. Woo! No, I'm not. I already have, but, you know, heroics. Alright, so this is the Ashenborn, aka Abomination, Ash, Death, or Night. Okay. Mine is Tragic Hero. Okay. Oh, right, because there was that video about the various types of hero. I keep forgetting to actually watch that, damn it. Because it came out after I'd already finished my character, so I was like, oh, oops. Okay. O Death, singing to me softly. O Death, serve thy judgment to me. O Death, thy ashes hath brought mine own endeth. O Death, releaseth me from thy grasp. Okay. In religious texts, the Ashenborn is death reincarnated, with the purpose to deliver immediate judgment and execution to the living. None found the true identity of death. Several testimonies served to expose them as a human who was tormented by the living, before making a deal with the Allfather. Their power is unimaginable. Some believed they could end the world with a swing of their sword. Their presence built a following. Don't worry, Ash is not Cryptoria. Oh, God. Their presence built a following. After a while, the Church of Ash was formed to pray to their living god. Some were fortunate to return after facing them, while others had their souls ripped out. Wowie. O Death, the living god. Wow. Physical description. Body features. The Ashenborn appears to be well built, although with slight feminine curves. Their right arm is made from black-colored bones crested with runes. This is also the arm that is capable of casting high-tier magic, which is destructive in nature. Hold on, so this is also the arm that is capable of casting high-tier magic which is destructive in nature. I think that made sense. The arm constantly concealed with long sleeves or bandages, as the runes may explode when exposed with air or sunlight. The arm is constantly concealed, I think. Their tail protrudes from their back and pointed at the end. And is pointed at the end? Their ears are pointed, hair and messy short, and wears an eye patch over their left eye. God damn it. I need to drink more water. Yeah, arm is constantly concealed. They are often wearing a mask, so none knew how they truly look entirely. Their bangs also sometimes cover their eyes as a way to conceal their odd irises. The right eye possesses a number of odd pupils in them, although it is described to be lizard-like. There are 5 pupils in total, with 4 of them on top of a single large one. Some believe the Ashenborn's right eye is not truly theirs, but belonged to the Allfather. This is a method from the Allfather to view the world through his proxy, and directly control their mind according to his needs. They are wrapped in a furred cloak and wear a pink diamond ring on their right ring finger. Surprisingly, the ring does not possess any sort of magical energy within it. The ring and the cloak are purely cosmetic. I I have a lot of difficulty with the letter R, apparently. Oops. Specialized equipment. They are always seen with their rune-bladed greatsword. Currently, the sword is in the care of the Strigia monarchs. Due to its weight, no one can lift the sword, and the runes often glow upon contact. Scholars noted the runes formed a short sentence which read, "With death I welcometh thee." And that is the sword of obliteration. Oof. Personal history. Prior to them becoming a god, they were a child in a farmer's village outside the borders of the old kingdom of Lebanon. They lived a simple life with their mother and younger sibling, until their sibling was killed by a hound of the Lebanese soldiers, and their village was burned. They were captured until their mother broke them out of the cage and attempted escape. Sadly, they were the only survivor of the massacre. Weeks after their escape, they were critically injured and lost their right eye from an Ash Seeker attack. Rescued by a necromancer, they jumped to the chance to learn magic and fighting. Ash honed their sword fighting and magical abilities in hopes they could exact revenge on Lebanon. During an incident involving bandits, Ash went berserk and killed a bystander, which led the necromancer to exile Ash from their new home. There are no records of the child's name, nor the necromancer that took them in. Wait, what? Okay. This bit reads really poorly simply because the kid has been referred to as Ash 3 times without it being established that that's just what we're going to call them. Like, I know why they're being called Ash, because they are the Ashen One, so on and so forth, but it just kind of comes out of nowhere that we're calling them Ash now. And so saying that there are no records of their name seems weird with that. I don't know. At least I understood the same character, briefly. For a second I got confused to who Ash was, which is possibly why that needs to be reworded. Because I thought for a second Ash was the necromancer, not the Ashen One. Which is silly of me, but there's also the Ash Seekers, so I got a bit confused. Gotta wake up the sapling. Ah, yes. Wake the sapling. Alright, undeniable offer. Days after exile, they began to experience hallucinations and fluctuations in their magic. They began to either conjure monsters or reduce everything around them to ashes. People began to avoid them, fearing their own demise. As the years passed, they were discriminated against and constantly exiled from wherever they decided to call home. Their isolation caught the attention of the Allfather, who offered them his power if they sold their soul and body to him. Unable to cope any longer, they immediately agreed. I wonder, if the child was raised right, will they truly grow to be a hero, or end up an abomination like me? Okay. Their skin is now a deathly white with eyes of blood red and toxic purple magic. They grew horns and a tail, reminiscent to the Ash Seekers and to the Allfather. From that point on, they call themselves the Ashenborn. The Allfather transferred his magic to the Ashenborn, turning them into his proxy to harvest souls. Yeah, I would probably say that is, would they truly have grown to be a hero? So I wonder, if the child was raised right, would they truly have grown to be a hero, or would they have ended up being an abomination like me? Complicated. My brain does not work fast enough for this. Oh, jeez. Okay, so accomplishments and achievements. The Ashenborn liberated the old kingdom of Lebanon, killing the monarchs, harvesting the souls as an act of revenge. The kingdom was laid to waste, and those they spared began to worship the Ashenborn's might. Some became obsessed with being killed by their blade. while others rose to create a religion for their new god. The Ashenborn became a symbol of salvation, and their name was chanted across Maerus. The Ashenborn soon achieved immortality by ascending with the Allfather's help. Their emotions were revoked, and their soul harvested by their patron as agreed. While the sight of the Ashenborn continued to plague Maerus, it has become a legend passed down for generations. Ooh. Oh, mental trauma. Oh boy. Oh boy. What a header. The love at first sight. While undergoing physical changes, Ash met with a village girl outside the borders of Lebanon. They fell in love with her, although quite shy in expressing their affection. One day, Ash saved the girl from monsters, and they became friends since then. Ash spent their time beside the girl and assisted her in daily chores. Ash refused to express their love in fear of rejection, but continues to admire her in silence. As months passed, they grew closer, and the girl confessed her feelings to Ash. Elated, Ash did the same and became open with their feelings to her, much to the chagrin of the village and her parents. Ash faced discrimination due to their looks. I went to an illustration to make the trauma even worse. Oh god, don't make it worse! Death by their hands. The village was against Ash staying with them, and the girl's parents refused to accept Ash as part of the family. They began to find reasons for Ash to be kicked out or sent away and never return. The girl, however, defends Ash and persuades her parents to change their minds. Instead of comfort, the girl is beaten by her father and forced to stay in their home. Reluctantly, Ash left the village to prevent their love being abused. However, Ash returned at night to meet her in secret, and they were given a pink diamond ring by the girl. This action was witnessed by a villager, and they were exposed. The girl was brought to face judgment, and before she was executed, Ash awakened to their power and obliterated the whole village. In their moment of berserk, Ash accidentally killed the girl, and only realizes this once they were awakened from their trance. Mentally scarred by the carnage they caused, the Allfather was able to revoke their mind and made them his puppet. Morality and philosophy. The Ashenborn has no solid hold on their own ideals. They simply went about with their life, killing those they found annoying and sparing those they considered useful. Some view the Ashenborn as the neutral party, since they avoid contact most of the time. However, the majority believe they are death incarnate, and should be eradicated before they end the world. The Ashenborn's view of the world is rather obscure. They find it beautiful, but dirty. They love it and hate it. Worthy, yet it needs destruction. Those who have managed to converse with them find their view confusing, but they often return thinking deeply of their words. How can you pray to the gods when they never answer you? Interesting for them to say. They formed a pact with the Allfather. What are you talking about? Ah, geez, now I'm just coming back up to the sidebar because I noticed there were illustrations and I needed to go check those out. So, used as a symbol by the Church of Ash, the effects of being under the spell of this symbol varies, but most lose their minds and become monsters upon eye contact. Only the Ashenborn is capable of using this power to its full potential. Oh, the Allfather is the devil. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Didn't connect that somehow. Oops. Well, shit. No, that's just me not comprehending. I was like, yeah, it's normal. God makes a monster. It's fine. I didn't even think of it. Oops. Ah, okay. Okay. So that's like the Ashenborn reliving the day that things went poorly. We'll call it that. The day that things went poorly for them. Damn. And so they're a hero to the people who worship them, and to basically nobody else. They're a divisive figure. That makes an interesting question I'd like to add to my manuscript. Okay. I'm glad I could be helpful. By being confused, I have maybe been helpful. Because now that's like, you know, part of the whole thing. Like, is the devil a god? Who knows? I don't understand. I don't know. Just confusing. But it was a very interesting article. With a lot of death. Which I'm not really surprised. Oh, wait. Oh, I was being silly. You mentioned their name was Ash up here. Oops. I can read. I have reading comprehension, I promise. Uh-oh. I am not clever. Oops. Oopsie daisy. Whoop, whoop. Oops. I take responsibility for that. I mean, that said, the name Ash was not used up until that point. That's halfway through the article. I've already forgotten by now. I do not keep this information in my head long enough. I'm not clever about this. I try. I mostly understood what was happening. I mean, yeah, I guess it is. Technically, it is early morning. It's 20 past midnight. It's early morning. Ignore the fact that this is basically the equivalent of like 9 p.m. in my sleep schedule. Possibly even earlier than that, depending on when you want to shift me waking up to. I think technically it's dinner time. Depends. You know? I'm just like, do the math. It's like a lot of hours. There's a lot of hours in between when I wake up and when most people wake up. So, oops. I'm hungry too, but I have a snack here, which I'm not going to eat until after stream ends. And that'll be my last snack of the evening. That'll be my final snack. It's not even their real name either. I know. I got that. It's great. I didn't absorb the information because it wasn't true anyway. That's my excuse. Oh jeez, and now I'm trying to do the math in my head while still talking and it's not working. I can't do quick math. 1, 3, 4. I think it's technically 8 o'clock. By like when I wake up standards. Cause like I get up at 1 p.m. and I'm assuming that most people get up at like 9 a.m. Like, that seems like a reasonable time. So I'm 4 hours offset. Therefore, it is 8:20. Therefore, it is the equivalent of 8 p.m. So I do not have any reason to be evening brained. But it's also past midnight, so I'm allowed to be evening brained. That's just most of my day, to be honest. 90% of my day is evening brain. I'm just an evening brain in a jar. Is the sapling swaying in the morning breeze? It's going in the I'm awake zombie-ish way. Excellent. And that is the rest of the evening brain. It's morning, but it's the like hungover. It's the hangover of it. It carries on. Oh boy. I don't even remember what I know what I'm doing. But I've forgotten where I was going with it. Uh-oh. Oopsie daisies. Because I don't think I explained this to the raiders, which is the majority of the chat at the moment. What I'm working on is I'm trying to work on a couple of articles that are related to my hero article, because I've already finished that article. I still have plenty of words left to, if I want to write anything else, I have like 600 extra words still that I can fit in before I top out. But I was like, I should just work on some articles that relate to this character, right? And so last stream I was working on the church that they burned down. Haven't finished that article, but I didn't want to write the same thing again. And then today what I'm doing is I'm trying to rewrite the elf article, because the elf article was written in December of 2018, and there has been this a lot has changed in the setting since 2018. Oops. We're not doing that. I can actually find out which day I wrote it too. Like, specifically which day. It's like... Because that's not correct. It's probably showed up this day here, like the 12th. But I can actually find out. Oh, after you need to go shopping, you're out of coffee. No! Not out of coffee. This is awful. This is awful news. This is why you have to go shopping. Oh god, my face is blindingly white now because I'm trying to find a thing. Which one is it? This one? I think it's this one. It is! Okay. Okay. So I have a... Oh, that's not gonna go, is it? Oh, god damn it. Pain in the butt. There we go. We're getting there. I have a super old bar chart spreadsheet from Worldbuilding 2018 where I tracked my word count per day on my road to 25k, and I listed that on the 13th of December I wrote 1,400 words about elves on the 13th. So this article was written on the 13th of December, and I don't think I need to tell you all, that's over 2 years ago now. So, oops. Oops. So the article was quite out of date, and both too specific and not specific enough. So, we are rewriting it. And then we got to start talking about Avatar, and then we did showcases. That's just how it is. That's just what happens on this stream. As is common, I get very distracted very easily. Extremely easily. I have never been focused in my life. I don't know what focus is. I've never met her. Okay, so elves are one of the 4 sapient species of Tiomara, holding off dragons and humans and predating the arrival of the merfolk. Ah. Yeah, squirrel, exactly, right? I'm just like, whoop! Fancy things. I mean, if I wasn't on stream, I would probably be at the same time. So I'm trying to do 3 things at once, right? If I wasn't on stream, I would be both writing this article, watching Avatar The Last Airbender, and playing Pokemon Shield on the Switch that's sitting on the chair next to me. I would then also be eating and possibly playing a game on my phone. This is just what I do. Like, that's just what it is. I think I would have been not watching Avatar, I would have just been playing Pokemon, but I would be doing a lot of things at once. On stream, I have to do the one thing, and that means that my brain is doing something else. To try and compensate for how I'm usually doing other things at the same time. So I was like, oh shit. But I can't play Pokemon on stream because you can't see it. And you also don't want to, because I have strong opinions about Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I'm not going to relay them here. They're not as bad as they could be, but it's a video game. Put it that way. Pokemon Sword and Shield. A video game. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so I can't copy this setting, this like formatting verbatim because they have something completely different going on here. Oopsies. Why'd I open that article? Okay, weird. Open just a random article. I don't even know how. Magic's all the way down there. Who knows? Bewildering. Okay, so yes, I have heard that. I've been looking forward to that since... Ooh, let's do the math here. Whenever they did Omega Ruby, I've been looking forward to them doing Diamond and Pearl. Because I think everyone was kind of hoping they would do Diamond and Pearl. Because there used to be a formula where it'd be like, you remake Gen 1 in Generation 3. You remake Gen 2 in Generation 4. And then 3 should have been in 5, but in 5 they instead did a sequel. So they did Black and White, and they did Black and White 2. And that was fine. Those are both games. I like Black and White. I like Gen 5 quite a lot. And then in Gen 6, that was when they remade Gen 3, and it's like, oh, okay. Okay, so then in Gen 7, you're gonna remake Gen 4, right? And then they didn't. And so now it's Generation 8. And we're like, can we have it, please? Because I don't think they're gonna make a sequel to Sword and Shield because they're doing DLC instead. So it's like, can we... Does that mean we can have the remake? Please? And I would like to play it. Because... Yeah, Sun and Moon had the sequels with the Ultra. I did not like Ultra anywhere near as much as the originals. Like with Black and White and Black and White 2, I view them as roughly similar in quality. But because I played... Because Ultra came out a year after Sun and Moon, and was basically the same game for the entire time until the very end, and the end was worse, I was like, oh, okay, this is a worse game, though. Whereas Black and White 2 at least starts differently and has a different plot. So I'm like, okay, there's something different here. And I think there was more time between the games. Listen, I'm very fond of Generation 5. I do like Sun and Moon, though. Sun and Moon are very good. I just do not like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I do not like them anywhere near as much. Maybe I like them better if I hadn't played it a year after. Maybe if there'd been more time, I would have liked them more. I don't know. Black and White 2 added Kyurem and Keldeo in the gang. Yes, it did have some new Pokemon, but it also added that entire section in the southwest where the protagonist starts. So they added the first 2 gyms, which is Charon and Roxy, Normal and Poison, which replaces the Trio Gym and the Museum Gym. And then you go to Castelia. And then everything continues from there, right? It's... The gym progression is the same once you make it to Castelia, but the intro is completely different. There are different characters because there's Hugh now instead of Charon and Bianca, though Charon is the gym leader and Bianca is still around because she's the professor's assistant. Things have changed. The sequel, it's actually a sequel, right? So that's the thing. Black and White and Black and White 2. Black and White 2 is an actual sequel. 2 years have passed, things have actually changed. So, that was a sequel. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were not sequels. They were remakes? DLC? I don't know how you would describe them, because they're not sequels. They're the same game, but with a bit extra change, which is why it was weird. I think. The ending of Ultra Sun Ultra Moon isn't bad. I just really liked the Sun and Moon ending. Because the climax in Ultra Sun Ultra Moon is you fight the weird black crystal. I don't remember what that is called. The weird black crystal thing? Necrozma. You fight Necrozma. And that's fine. That's cool. I preferred the original final boss in Sun and Moon, which is where you fight Lusamine. I really liked the Lusamine boss fight. She was fun. Because, like, the point where you reach her chambers, that's where the divergence is. you go through the fucking base, the 8th Ether Foundation, you make it to her chambers, and that is where things change. Up to that point, it is basically the same game, and I'm like, are you kidding me? What is this? What am I doing? Why did I pay an extra $60 for this? Yeah. They are basically like a soft DLC reboot, which is a bit weird. It was a bit strange. I'm not totally sure what they were going for, which is I think is why I didn't like it, because I'd played the original. If I hadn't played Sun and Moon, I probably would have liked Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon quite a lot. But also, I probably would have just bought Sun and Moon because they would have been cheaper. So, who knows? Oh, Pokemon Go is fine too. X and Y, I have strong opinions about, and most of them are negative. It's not bad. The story is just bad. Well, okay. I probably shouldn't get into this, because I've spoken about X and Y a bunch other places. X and Y is a very... There's a lot happening in there. And I'm confused by all of it. Because, like, the intro is kind of weird. But, like, not necessarily bad. So you're like, okay, this is fine. You get to the first gym. You beat the first gym. All good. Between the first gym and the second gym is, the big city in the region, the central city, like Castelia, but you're not allowed to fight the gym yet, so big city. There's a, like, mansion side quest, which isn't a side quest because it's mandatory because your friend really wants to go see some fireworks and you have to fucking chase a dog. Ugh. And then there's a cave. There's a... You go down to another town. You go into another cave to do a Team Flare encounter and also to get a fossil Pokemon. You then take up a beach, and now you're in the town with the second gym. There are 7 locations in between you fighting the first gym and you actually fighting the second gym. It's a lot. And then after that, it's like after you fight the second gym, every town is a gym. So I'm just like, what the hell happened in the front half? Why was there such a huge gap in between the first gym and the second gym? Nothing happened story-wise. Why did it take so long? It's so weird. I'm so confused by it. But it's very playable. I think the gameplay in X and Y is actually really good. Except when it lags. And it lags quite badly in multi-battles. Like, visually, the like, picture, like, the Pokemon getting animated, they lag a shit ton in battles. But only in the waiting, when you're making a choice. Once you choose what move to do, everything's smooth. But once you get back into the menu, it's laggy. I don't know why. Other than that, the gameplay in X and Y is really good, and I quite like Mega Evolution as a gimmick. It is my favorite of the recent gimmicks. Z moves are fine. I like Mega Evolution most. Dynamaxing is shit. Because it's just bad Mega Evolution. Go much play Sun and Moon, see what you did it, because they've been toying with different multiverses. Right. And they did have that with the Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, where there was that implication. There was an implication that something was up. And like with Sun and Moon, one of the post-game events in Sun and Moon is actually you encounter one of the Battle Frontier people from Hoenn. But she's not from Orast Hoenn, because Orast Hoenn doesn't have the Battle Frontier anymore. She's from Generation 3 Hoenn. That's Annabelle, I think. She's from the original Hoenn, and she got pulled through the Ultra Time Space bullshit, and now she's in this other version of Pokemon Earth. You know, she talks about the battle tower and stuff. It's like, there's no battle tower. It hasn't been built yet, I think, is what it was in Omega Ruby. It hadn't been built yet. So there is, like, a little bit of stuff going on. A little. It's kind of weird, because, like, the implication is that the remakes and the originals both happened, but in different, like, realities. And if they do remake Diamond and Pearl, I'll be interested to see if they actually bring that up. Like, if they decide to keep carrying this motif forward of the remakes and the originals both happened. It'd be kind of interesting. Because that's the idea they were working with some of the content in Sun and Moon. Was they were like, yeah, both happened, but separately. We're in the separate world now. It's like, oh, okay. Sure. I guess? And even then, there's the implication there are multiple worlds even beyond that or something. And I was like, what is going on? There's the multiverse is collapsing. Help. So I guess in that respect, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is just Sun and Moon, but one multiverse over. Which is fine, but it's not like the same. It's not the same as, say, playing Generation 2 and then playing Heart Gold Soul Silver, because there's been changes, like graphical and technical changes in between the two. So they're different multiverses or whatever, but there are other changes aside from that, like at a foundational level. But Sun and Moon or Sun and Moon are just the same game with like 3 changes, something. I don't know. Oh yes, Giratina! Oh, buddy. Oh, fucking love Giratina. Giratina is my favorite. I love Giratina so much. I'm hype as hell to see Giratina's Parallel World. Because it's only really shown in Platinum, which I own. I do not have currently. Did I give you Platinum, or do I still have Platinum? I think I gave you Platinum, right? I don't remember. But God, I don't like Platinum, which is why I want to remake, because I want to see if I enjoy Sinnoh more when it runs properly. Because the Gen 4 Platinum just runs weirdly. I don't know why. Just something about it's bust. Something about it does not work for me. It's very slow. Not my DS's fault. It just runs slowly. It's weird. I'd be interested to see how it runs, if they can improve on it in some way to make it feel better to play in like a physical. It just feels better to play, and they can improve and hopefully not make it worse. Please, God, do not make Sinnoh worse. It's already rough enough. And I hate Barry. Oh God, Barry's gonna be so annoying. Oh no. I hate Barry so much. He's the worst. General consensus is that Gens 1 and 5 are the same universe, 6 is another universe, 7 is 2 universes, and then Generation 8 is who knows? Because we don't have any connections yet. Because there hasn't been any returning characters, right? That's why we don't know. So I guess if they do remake Sinnoh, we'll find out then, because that will presumably illuminate the truth of what's going on there. Who knows? It's all a bit of a mystery to me. But it'll be interesting to see, because if they're trying to do something, I would like to see what. If the multiverse was a long-term thing, or if that was just a gimmick. Like all the other gimmicks they keep putting into Pokemon. I would like to see them actually keep a gimmick, for once. Instead of remaking one every single goddamn generation. God. They keep doing it. They keep doing it. Oh, God. Is another Venus because of Dynamax Dynamite. Yeah, that makes sense. Each group with the gimmick is a different, like, actual, like, Pokemon-y gimmick is a different thing. So, Mega Evolution on one hand, Z-Move's another one, Gigantamax the other one. Will they let us catch Arceus? Will they actually let us catch Arceus? Because they were going to let us do it in Generation 4 originally. They had the Blue Flute, the Azure Flute, and then they just didn't give it to anybody. They apparently decided that they weren't going to let us capture God. So I'm wondering if they're going to let us capture God. Or if he will appear. They will appear? Did Arceus use pronouns in the movie? Unclear. The Arceus movie is actually my favorite. Or it's one of my favorites. I'm a big fan of Arceus and the Jewel of Life. The Darkrai movie's better, but still. I had a friend on a Yu-Gi-Oh! Forum hack me a shiny Arceus, which I used to repeatedly beat the Elite Four. I could almost beat the Elite Four in Black and White solo with Arceus, except I was missing a plate, so I couldn't do one of them. I think it was the fighting one or something. I didn't have a plate, like a flying plate or something, to use for the fighting Elite Four, so I had to use, like, a bird. I had to use, like, a Staraptor or something, and I was like, this is fine. You just solo the Elite Four constantly. That was the good shit, and it was shiny, and it was very nice of that person from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Forum to give me. Just hack me a shiny Arceus was the good shit. Oh, we screwed up. How do I fix this? Multiverse! Woo! We love it. we love that kind of justification, don't we? It's the best. That's pure world building. Mega Evolution splits off because of the Doomsday weapon going off and it not going off in Gens 1 through 5 world. Right. Right. Because it did happen in the past and they were going to do it again. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. I think. Sure. Lore. You know, it's kind of like trying to make a Zelda timeline. It's ultimately a kind of fruitless endeavor, but it's still kind of fun. You know? We'll bring in Zelda chess. It's great. That's the kind of shit we want to see. Next, we need to try and figure out where in the timeline Pokemon Stadium falls. Which multiverse is Pokemon Stadium in? I think it's the same universe as Generation 4. Just because No, I'm thinking of Pokemon Ranger. No, Pokemon Ranger is the same as the originals. Because of the Manaphy egg. That is my logic. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I've solved the puzzle. I know where Pokemon Ranger sits. I haven't even played Pokemon Ranger. And then Pokemon Mystery Dungeon's over there. We love Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. The originals, mostly. Well, the dungeons of Explorers 1. The Explorers 1, very good. That's official from Game Freak. It's pretty much the only concrete thing we actually have. That's the one timeline they made. They're like, so there's all these old games, and then there's this one, and the difference is that this one, a big explosion went off like 1,000 years ago. That's it. It's like, oh, okay. Sure. And that's why we have Mega Evolution, because of the explosion. Why do we have Dynamaxing? Who knows? That's just a mystery to me, yo. Who knows? God. Mega Evolution is the cooler gimmick, though. Can we all actually agree on that? Like, because there's been 3 gimmicks, right? In the 3D Pokemons. There's been Mega Evolution, which is the once per battle, one Pokemon thing. But you can use it in any battle, whether it be gym battle, trainer battle, wild battle. Mega Evolution, cool. Then there's Z moves, which is basically just you can make one move more powerful per battle. It's kind of neat. Cute animations. And then there's Dynamaxing, which is both of them combined, but only for like 2 turns? And only in gym battles? I don't get it. I don't understand. Dynamaxing is confusing and kind of boring, because it just makes you big. And I'm like, but Mega Evolution, it made you look different. And they're like, but no, we do have different looks. If you Gigantamax them, I'm like, how do I do that? And they're like, shush. We're not going to explain that yet. And I'm like, God damn it. Can you explain this shit to me? Please. God. I just want to know what is going on. Maybe I'm not far enough in the game yet, even though I have like 5 gym badges. Shit's weird. I do not get it. Dynamaxing is boring. Yes, that's the poison gym, right? Spikemuth? With our cool rocker boy, Pierre. I haven't got to him yet. I have not reached him. Like, the only... Because I'm only up to... I'm heading to Kirchester. Kirchester? England explain. I'm heading to Kirchester for, like, the 6th gym or whatever. And the only interesting thing with Dynamaxing is the section where, like, you go back to a Hammerlock, and there's an explosion, and Sophie or whatever is like, wow, there's a bunch of random Dynamax spots in the town. That's really weird. We're gonna go investigate. You keep doing the gym challenge. And I'm like, back up a second. Back up a second. You mean to tell me that the city of Hammerlock is now basically a Dynamax free zone, not just in the gym, Dynamax free zone, and you're telling me to leave? What? There's a plot thing happening and you're telling me to go away? Why are you letting me engage? I want to fight a random trainer and just make my fucking bunny huge. That shit's cool. The idea of just fighting, like, random dude and just going Dynamaxing sounds awesome. But no, that's later, and that's only so you can fight, like, Chairman Rose with a Dynamax Pokemon later, and I'm like, oh, fuck you. This only just happened to me, like, 2 hours ago. Because I was literally playing Pokemon, like, 2 hours ago. And I was like, but, like, you just said something cool happened. Why don't you let me do the cool thing? I'm supposed to be a protagonist. They're being responsible adults, but like, what? I even went to try and see if I could go in, right? Because there's the door to the power plant. You know where it is. So I was like, instead of going to Route 7, I'm gonna go to the power plant. And they're like, no, go away. And I'm like, are you serious? What? What? Let me in! There's a story beat happening here which could be cool, but I'm gonna have to deal with it in like 2 hours once I go fight some rando. I don't even know who the gym leader of Kirchester is. Huh? Bewildering shit. It's such a weird choice. Considering that like 20 minutes prior, fucking B blew up a statue and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I can interact here. But even then, whatever, right? Weird. So stupid. It's so silly. Exactly, where's the fights with random evil group and catching legendaries? Like, if they're not gonna let me engage, why are they... Like, I assume it's foreshadowing? Because the plot of Sword and Shield has been explained to me loosely as, like, Chairman Rose wants to find a power source, and he wants to, like, harness Dynamax power to power Fantasy England or something. And I guess the idea is that the power plant is malfunctioning because he doesn't have the correct power yet, which is why he's gonna cause the apocalypse later. But, like... Why is this happening in front of me, and why can't I do anything about it? Like, it would be different if it was like, you know, Leon just shows up and he's like, oh yeah, I was held up. I couldn't watch you fight Opal because I was busy helping Chairman Rose. Something went wrong at the power plant, but it's all good now, I promise. That would be foreshadowing and wouldn't make me feel like I'd missed out on something. Less so, if that makes sense. I don't know. I think I need to finish the game to figure out where they were going with that. But I'm assuming they don't really go anywhere with that. I'm a little confused. Yeah, the plot with the evil mustache government is good, but execution is poor. That is not uncommon in Pokemon. That happens. It's a decent amount. We're not great with the villains, I don't think. The last good villain is like... Oh no, I like Getsus. I hate, Lysander, because he's just weird. He's a weird man. Lysander is a weird man. Lusamine is okay. I like Lusamine. But that's because that antagonism is a different... Because she's not trying to destroy the world. That's not her plan. Her plan is not to destroy the world. Her plan is to, like, do some... She's doing something else, and it just incidentally might bring forth monsters who will kill the world. That's normal shit. But, like... I'm just... Rose is confusing me a little bit. And I do not believe it gets better, so this is not gonna go well. Oh, God. Pokemon, yeah. I promise I love Pokemon. I just have a lot of strong feelings. I mean, like... Because I guess, like, I don't know. Okay, see you, Lathan! Yes, I will enjoy the rest of my time zone and have fun with the stream. Oh god, there's 5 minutes left and I have done, like, 20 words. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no. Oopsie daisies. I'm just talking about Pokemon now. So I'm thinking about villains now, and I'm like, God, what are the, like, because I haven't played Generation 1 in any capacity, so I have no real experience with Giovanni. But because he's the first, he's allowed to be boring, right? Giovanni is allowed to be a boring mafia boss man. He's fine. He's the first villain. It's okay. Gen 2, there isn't a villain purely because Silver isn't a villain. He's just like an angsty teen. He's great. I love Silver. He isn't a villain. The actual villains are just like a bunch of Team Rocket admins, and they're all pretty boring, right? So that's fine. Because Silver is there to pull you along because he's dealing with something. You know, he's got a personal in for it, so you're following along because of him, not because of any like actual antagonism personally with the admins. That's fine. Hoenn, they're very characterful. I think I like them. Their plans are stupid. Or silly. God damn, I'm trying not to use those words. It's just, their plans are a bit nonsensical, but it's fine, because they're very characterful, right? They're very cool. Oh yeah, the Celebi event, yes. Well, no, even then, like, you don't know that Silver is Giovanni's son unless you do the Celebi event. But even without the Celebi event, you do get a fairly strong sense that he has a personal vendetta against Team Rocket. You don't know why, and it's because his dad was the Team Rocket boss and he's a dick. But you don't really need to know the details per se. It's okay. Like, you can follow through and you understand the vibe. Gen 3's message is what's important for... That's fair. Like, it makes sense. The plans are silly, but I understand the thematic angle they're going for. And again, the villains in Gen 3 are very fun. So it's okay. Gen 4, I really like Cyrus, but he is kind of weird. So if you don't like Cyrus, I understand. Because his plan isn't to destroy the world, it's just to... Well, his plan is to have a better world, and he's only really fun in Platinum because he succeeds in that goal by just moving to the parallel dimension. And I'm like, dude, that rules. You're great. He's funny in that. I think that's fun. Cyrus is fun. And the other admins are fine. We're talking about Pokemon villains now. I've decided that I'm not going to be productive. I'm just going to talk about Pokemon now. I'm running through all of the generation's villains that I know. Ghetsis is boring. So Ghetsis is the Gen 5 villain. He's fairly boring. In Black and White 1, he's saved because N is fairly interesting as a character. Not like the best well-written individual ever, it's Pokemon. But like, he's fairly interesting and he's, you know, it's fun. It's cool. So Gen 1, so Black and White 1, fine. Black and White 2, Ghetsis still isn't very good. That said, he does straight up attempt to murder you, and for that he gets a huge, like, gold star as a villain. Cause that's just fun. Cause he straight up attempts to kill a child. And it's like, holy shit. Like, yo. Cause he freezes a town, for starters. He freezes a town, and I'm like, hold on a minute. What? He freezes a town, locks people in their houses and shit, summons Kyurem, you go fight him in a cave, and then he gets Kyurem to trap you, and then he's like, hey Kyurem, I spike this child, which would kill you. A child. And it's like, holy shit, this is amazing. I love Gen 5 a lot. That shit's hilarious. Hugh is stupid, though. Bad. I don't like Hugh. Okay, see you, Bob. We'll be there in like 5 minutes. Oh, God. And then, so Jen Getz's is boring, ends more interesting, but Getz's does do some really, like, silly, like, full villain shit, so he's fun on that front. He's fun because of what he does, not how he acts while doing it. Lysander sucks. Just straight up. Lysander is not good. And his plan is silly. I don't know what the point is. I don't know what they were going for with Lysander, and I'm not sure I really want to know. I'm sure there's a theme in there. I don't know what it is. Because, it's basically just the same plan as Cyrus, but with worse outfits and French. I don't get it. I don't know what he's going for. And then Gen 7, I like Lusamine. She's fun. And then Team Skull, also very fun. And then Gen 8, Chairman Rose has not impressed me so far. I haven't finished the game, I'm like halfway through, but Chairman Rose has not impressed me. And I don't know what is going on. Like, the only opinion I have is that I think Marnie is neat, which I think most people agree with. So I'm like, Marnie is cool. Bede, I'm not as fond of Bede because I'm a little bit confused what's going on with him. I'm just like, what's happening? Why aren't you in jail? You committed a terrorism. What are you doing? Why are you just here? Why is Pink the what is happening? I'm sure he gets better, but I'm just like, I'm so confused. And then Hop sucks. Oh god. Pokemon, yeah? You know, please don't. I don't need to be distracted even more. Like, again, like, the article originally had 1,400 words, and it now has 100 words, 50 of which are notes. I've written, and this part was already written, I've written like 20 words. All day. In the whole 2 hours. I'm gonna stop the stream, inhale a fruit bar, and then I'm gonna actually write for an hour, and I'm gonna go to bed. I cannot be distracted further. Do not talk to me about Pokemon. I can't do this again. Oh no. I need to do something different on Saturday so I don't have this happen again. Oh no. Oh god, what a stream. That's what we call a mess. I'm very easy to distract. I have a lot of opinions. I've been playing Pokemon since I was like 10. And I'm 21 somehow. So, more than half of my life spent playing Pokemon, so I have a lot of opinions. And quickly, my favorite Pokemon movie is Darkrai. My second favorite Pokemon movie is either Lucario or Arceus. My third favorite is whichever one of those loses. My fourth favorite is probably the Zoroark movie. The first movie is in there somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Maybe that's like second. I don't know. My least favorite Pokemon movie is, Manaphy. That's least favorite's Manaphy. Second least favorite is the, like, Heroes one. With, Gladius and Latios. It's a weird movie. Not bad, just weird. I'm gonna play Gen 1. You've got a Pokemon family that's Gen 1 story, but everything up to Gen 5, but in Gen 3 style. Oh my god. That is a lot of things. Maybe? Maybe? I have a lot of games that I should be playing, though. I probably should actually play games before I play fan games. And I probably should end the stream before I was talking about more Pokemon. So what we're gonna do, I promise, we're actually going to leave. That is my raid call. I'm letting you know now, so that you can use the Toast Slice channel points to redeem the Yelling Toast. And that way we can spam it in Bob's chat. Because, as per usual for a Tuesday evening, or I guess a Wednesday midnight, kinda depends on your perspective there. Wednesday morning? Unclear. Tuesday evening, as is usual, we will be raiding RPG Dinosaur Bob, who will be a significantly more productive host. I think that's a positive, because I did not get anything done today. No, do not. You can't stop me. I will not be stopped. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for the engaging conversation. Let's put it that way, because I do like talking about various media things that I actually know about, which is not very many. So getting to talk about any of them is very fun. I hope you've all had a fun time, and you've had a good day, and that you continue to have a lovely day, whatever it is that you plan to do with it, whether it's, riding, reading, playing games, thinking about Pokemon, sleeping. All of them good. And hopefully I shall see many of you around in the future. Goodbye! Goodbye!